Okay, first, how true is the character to the real person, Jordan?
Was I asked that?
Yeah.
I spent I've been talking about this project with him for 6 years, and I had numerous conversations with him, and he was, it's interesting because as much as he wanted to portray himself in the book, there's also an element of, okay, this is my life story. So when it got down to the end of how we're going to portray this person, I said, look, how we're going to portray himself. I said, look, we're going to tell the truth. We're going to talk about what you're doing right now. The cell is still on. He went off and continued to do almost like Tony Robbins business seminars around the world on the idea of how to sell to customers with morality and integrity, considering what he's been through in his life and the mistakes that he's made. But look, I didn't want to do a direct imitation of him, but I feel like I did the best job that I could with capturing the essence of who I felt that he was. That's really the best way I can answer it. And so much of the acute detail of the events of his life and him, mentally putting me back into the room of the scene. I check up with him every weekend. And in a way, Marty wanted me to be the buffer zone because he didn't want to communicate really directly with him. He wanted to be able to have a distance from the subject matter. So I'd be sort of the messenger of information on a constant basis about, what next week's scene would be like, and those little minute details that I think went really directly up on screen. I mean, most of the conversations I had with him, a lot of that information got infused directly into the movie.
I mean, you look at this movie and you can't believe it happened. You can't believe this guy lived that kind of life. Did you have his cooperation throughout the film, Jordan Belfort?
Yeah, we had his full cooperation. What was fascinating about doing a movie about Jordan Belfort was not only was he so candid in his novel about an incredibly embarrassing time period of his life, but you meet him in person and he looks at this as a part of the past. So oftentimes, and I met with him for months beforehand, I would say, was it really like this? Describe to me that day in great detail. He says, not only was it like this, it was even worse, and I'm going to tell you why. So a lot of that got infused, I feel like, into the producing process, because on many occasions I'd come in the day before and say, we need a chimpanzee in diapers on roller skates, handing out ticket stubs. Can we make that happen? And everyone would kind of look at me and go,
and you would say it just like that. Can we make that happen?
Casting call for midgets that want to be like...
I mean, it was like that. It was chaos a lot of